This video is going to be somewhat of a sniper guide for what are the best sniper rifles inside Warzone. We're going to be breaking down the stats of some of the Vanguard sniper rifles and comparing it to what we currently have with Black Ops snipers as well as Modern Warfare snipers. If that sounds interesting, make sure you subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 50k subscribers. Also click the link in the description as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers on our second channel as well. And also some of the data from this video has been taken from True Game Data, so a link to all their stuff will be in the description as well. But we did calculate the stats for the Vanguard weapons ourselves because there is no data for sniper rifles at the moment. I do want to quickly mention though that damage values inside this video for Vanguard weapons might be slightly off, and that is because we are testing these damage values in public matches with real players moving around the map, so it is very difficult to test, so just keep that in mind when going throughout this video. So this video is going to go over the stats for the bolt action sniper rifles, and we never took a look at the semi-automatic ones because no one really uses those in the first place, and we mainly focused on the important stats here. Now TTK is not important because if you land a headshot is a 0 millisecond TTK, so we did focus on the actual damage values themselves because we want to know if one shot to the chest would get an armor break, because that's really important, especially with a sniper. And we also took a look at the KAR98 as well as the SPR because they are pretty much sniper rifles, and we mainly focused on bullet velocity as well as ADS times as well. So what we have here is the stats that I believe to be probably the most important when it comes to sniper rifles inside Warzone. So we've got all the snipers from the bolt action sniper rifles listed right here. You've got the first damage range headshot damage, the first damage range chest shot damage, the second damage range headshot damage, the second damage range chest shot damage, the bullet velocity, the ADS times, and the ADS speed. And the ADS speed I tested with the standard optic on the Vanguard weapons and with the 4/8 times variable zoom optic as well, because this is the one I find I use myself quite a lot on certain weapons just because it looks a little bit cleaner. But I wanted to find out if it actually does help with ADS times or if any of the optics in general just help with ADS times. I didn't test every single one, I just tested this, and it turns out it does help for one specific case, so we'll get into that. But when it comes to headshot damage, it's pretty much 250 for every single weapon. You're always going to get a one-shot kill regardless of which sniper you're using, and regardless of which range you're in, you're always going to get that one hit headshot kill, which is as it should be in my opinion. So what I've done here now is I've actually arranged these sniper rifles in terms of damage to see which one does the highest damage in that second damage drop-off point and to the chest. Now obviously we know they all do 250 to the head, so that's not going to change anything. We're looking at chest shot damage here, and can you get an armor break with one shot to the chest, that is, and obviously if you do get a neck shot you're going to get a one shot armor break as well. So the Swiss is at the top of the list. We all knew the Swiss does an absolute ton of damage. It does 180 damage, and armor plates, if you have 3 armor plates, stack up to 150 health, so this is absolutely going to give you an armor break with one shot, so it's going to be a 2-shot kill for the most part. ZRG, again, you will get the armor break. For the SPR, again, you will get that armor break if you land a chest shot at that long range. KAR98K, again, you will get that armor break if you land a chest shot. And then every other weapon after this, so every other sniper rifle from Vanguard, Cold War, Modern Warfare, you're not going to get an armor break at long range if you land a chest shot. So as it already stands right now, when it comes to damage, these are the best 4 snipers in the game. So the Swiss, the ZRG, the SPR, and the KAR98K. Now when it comes to sniper rifles, damage isn't absolutely everything, because if you're aiming at the chest and you expect to get a chest shot and the bullet velocity is not good enough, you won't actually land that chest shot in the first place. Or if you're trying to land a headshot, for example, as well, the same will be the case. So we're going to arrange this in terms of bullet velocity now and see which one is actually the best for bullet velocity overall. And as you can see right here, the HDR has got the best bullet velocity. He's been the bullet velocity king for a while at 1,323 meters per second bullet velocity. Then we've got the ZRG, then we've got the SPR, then we've got the Tundra and the Type 99 tied 4th place. And then we've got every other sniper rifle after that, with the Vanguard KAR being the slowest. Now this is with all the meta builds, so keep this in mind. It's going to be the meta builds that help with bullet velocity. Last but not least, we need to arrange these weapons in terms of ADS To get an idea of which ones are the fastest ADSing guns, no one wants a slow ADSing sniper rifle. Some people like to play aggressively with it, and that is very evident with the Swiss being a meta weapon and the KAR98 being a meta weapon. So we all know people like being aggressive with their snipers, but on top of that, no one just likes to have a super slow ADS in the first place. You pretty much can get gunned down before you even ADS with some of these weapons, because that's how slow it is. Let's arrange it in terms of the fastest ADSing snipers in the game right now. And as you can see, there's no surprise here. The Modern Warfare KAR is at the top, but that is with one exception. And now we've got the Swiss, the Pellington, and the SPR. All of these snipers do really well, but if you do use that 4 to 8 times optic on the Vanguard KAR98, with the build that I'll show you at the end of this video, you get a 300 millisecond ADS time, which is the fastest possible ADS out of any sniper in this game. Now, with the Modern Warfare KAR, we are using the flinch resistance perk instead of using the stock that gives you a faster ADS, and that is because it's an absolute must to use that perk now. You kind of have to use it to reduce the flinch resistance as much as possible, because they didn't con it by a lot. Now, they did go in and fix it with the Swiss, but they didn't go in and fix it with the KAR, so you do need that flinch resistance on there, and you can't get it any faster. Now, you can get faster ADS, but you're going to get tons of flinch on the gun. What I'm going to do now is pick out the 4 best snipers and give you builds for them. I do want to mention that the Vanguard KAR actually has pretty good flinch resistance. Now, I don't have any real way of quantifying this, and I will make a separate video showing you what the flinch actually looks like on all the Vanguard guns. But when it comes to the Type 99 and the 3-line rifle, both of those have pretty bad flinch, and some of them do even have perks that help with flinch, and a stock or the rear grip that helps with flinch as well. And even if you stack these attachments on it, it doesn't really help all that much. Now, it does feel like it's helping, but it does feel like it helps, but it doesn't have as good flinch resistance as the KAR98 from Vanguard. So for my first pick is definitely going to be the Vanguard KAR, and that is because it's got good flinch resistance. The bullet velocity is not great. The damage is okay, but the ADS speed is the best in the game, and this is going to make it the best aggressive sniper in my opinion. Then we also have the Cold War Swiss. Now, the Cold War Swiss has never really left the meta in the first place, but is a solid option still. It's got a good ADS time. The damage is definitely up there in terms of some of the best. The bullet velocity is not too great, but the ADS times are pretty in line with most of the other sniper rifles, if not slightly better. My next pick is going to be the Cold War ZRG. Now, the reason I'm picking the Cold War ZRG is for your long range gunfights. Now, I would say the HDR is going to be the better option because it's got the better bullet velocity, but if you look at the damage values, the ZRG just beats it out in every single way, and you're pretty much always guaranteed an armor break if you land a headshot, a neck shot, or a chest shot, which is absolutely amazing. Plus, the bullet velocity is not too far off the HDR to basically pick the HDR in the first place. So like I said, the ZRG is going to be an extremely solid option. And then my last pick is actually the Modern Warfare SPR, because if you haven't actually seen, as we were going through this video, the SPR was basically in the top 4 each and every category. So when it comes to damage, when it comes to bullet velocity, and when it comes to ADS speed, the SPR has always been up there. Now, you could also pick the Modern Warfare KAR98 if you don't want any flinch whatsoever, but when it comes to bullet velocity and things like that, you won't be landing your shots at range. When it comes to overall builds, we're going to fly through these pretty quickly. First of all, we've got the SPR with the model suppressor, 26-inch barrel, tac laser, solo zero optic, not the variable zoom. This is going to give you a slightly faster ADS time, and the Norma mags. This is going to help with bullet velocity, so you need to make sure you're using the Norma mags and the solo zero optic, and this is overall the best build for the SPR. ZRG is pretty straightforward. Wrap suppressor, which is basically the final suppressor that you unlock for the effective damage range, the bullet velocity, and all that good stuff. Combat recon barrel is the best when it comes to any Cold War sniper rifle. 5mm laser for the faster aim down sight time. Serpent wrap for the faster aim down sight time. The airborne elastic wrap does not help with flinch resistance at all. And the bruiser grip to give you faster movement speeds, because that is the only feasible option really. You can go for like a stock attachment. Similarly, we've got the same build for the Swiss, GRU suppressor, which is the final suppressor, combat recon barrel, which is the best for bullet velocity, 5mm laser, serpent wrap again because the airborne does not help with flinch resistance, and then the bruiser grip once again. You can remove the bruiser grip, put on a magazine if you really wanted to get larger mags. Last but not least, we have the Vanguard KAR98, and I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about this weapon in particular because there is some attachments here that will throw you off. So muzzle, you do want to use the scout silencer, and this is going to help with the sound suppression, but what it does do is it cons your damage range. Now, people might think this is bad for a sniper rifle, which it kind of is, but you don't want to con your aim down sight speed, because that is kind of the main reason we're using the sniper in the first place, is because it's got the best ADS time in the game. So you don't really want to con it all that much. Plus the damage doesn't really drop off all that much anyway, because it is a sniper rifle. When it comes to the barrel, you want to use the bullet velocity VDD RE O2K barrel. This is going to help with the upper extremities damage. Upper extremities and lower extremities do different damage. So you do want to use this barrel here. Plus it helps with bullet velocity, which is very important. Then we need to use that optic, the 4 to 8x optic. Like I said, this is going to cut your ADS time in half. So you need to make sure you use this optic right here. When it comes to the stock, we're using the stock that helps with aim down sight time again. So it's going to help with movement speed, ADS times, and aim walking movement speed as well. It does con your flinch resistance, which is the only annoying thing. But like I said, this gun doesn't really have much flinch to begin with anyway. When it comes to perk, Shrouded is the best at concealing your scope glint. The rest don't really help all that much for anything that's important to sniper rifles, let's be completely honest here. Fully Loaded is always perk 2. And then for the rear grip, I want to talk a little bit about this as well, because there's 2 rear grips that help with aim down sight time. There's a leather grip, which helps with aim down sight speed and stability. And there's also the fabric grip as well, which helps with aim down sight time, sprint to fire time, and hip fire accuracy. Now, both of these help equally as good when it comes to aim down sight time. I've tested both, and they both give you the same aim down sight time with this specific build. So you could choose whatever one you want really, but I do think that leather grip is going to help because it gives you aiming stability, which is more important on a sniper. Magazine, we're using the Clouser 5-round mags. It just helps with a faster reload time. That's pretty much it. For ammo type, we need to choose lengthened for the better bullet velocity. The Vanguard KAR98 has the worst bullet velocity out of any bolt action sniper, so you want to make sure you can get the best bullet velocity possible, so make sure you use lengthened. And then for the underbarrel, you've got 2 options. You can either choose the heavy foregrip, which gives you some kind of good pros, which are not that good to be honest. You get aiming stability, which you've already got, and it gives you aim walking steadiness, which is kind of handy if you're ADSing around a corner or something with the sniper. Or you can use the pistol grip, which is going to help with your sprint to fire and hip fire accuracy. Again, we don't really need it for hip firing, but for sprint to fire it is pretty handy, but it does give you a con to recoil control and accuracy, which isn't really much of a con with a sniper rifle anyway. So both of those are solid options if you want to go for them. So there we have it. Those are the 4 best sniper rifles inside the game at the moment, in my opinion. Like I said, there's a mixture of Vanguard, Cold War, and Modern Warfare snipers in this list, so there should be something that you can use right now and do extremely well with. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 50k subs. Also subscribe to the second channel as well, and thank you very much for watching.